Good afternoon, all. In today's session, we will continue the expression, the derivation we were dealing with. We were actually uh, at this. We completed the derivation for propagation constant, what is attenuation constant, what is phase constant. And after this, we have seen characteristic impedance Z naught. Okay, both derivations we have seen. Today, we need to check out with the wavelength lambda equation and Vp, that is velocity of propagation, okay, of any electromagnetic wave. So what will be the expression for that at microwave transmission lines? Okay. For gamma, we have already seen this is your real part, this is your imaginary part, this is called alpha, and this is your beta. Okay. And characteristic impedance square root of L by C. Today, let's see about the wavelength lambda. You know it generally. What is lambda? Lambda and frequency are inversely related. The lambda is in terms of distance, frequency in terms of per cycle, right? So it is defined as the distance traveled by electromagnetic wave in order to undergo a phase shift of 2 pi radians, one complete cycle. Okay, if you take one complete cycle, you call this the distance traveled by a wave in order to go a phase shift of 2 pi radians. We call it the wavelength lambda. So directly I have written here lambda is equal to 2 pi by beta. That is, you know that, hopefully you know this, phase constant beta is also given by 2 pi by lambda. This is the equation. So from this, I have got the equation for lambda, that is 2 pi by beta. Why I am taking this beta is already we have defined what is beta, the phase constant, omega root of LC. So we can make use of this equation in that lambda equation. Okay. So substituting that 2 pi divided by beta is omega root LC. So further, what is 2 pi omega? Omega is 2 pi f. So 2 pi gets cancelled. You'll get lambda is equal to 1 by f root LC. Further, you can't do anything. L and C are your primary constant, distributed parameters, and f is the frequency. Further, you cannot substitute any other values. So this itself is the equation for wavelength. Okay, this is the third parameter for which we have got the expression. Gamma is over, under gamma alpha and beta, then characteristic impedance Z naught. This is the third one, that is lambda. And the fourth one, let's see, that is velocity of propagation V subscript P. Okay, Vp. I have written here Vp is equal to omega by beta. How we get this? Let me just show you. Velocity is the distance traveled divided by the time. You know this, right? Distance, in terms of the one complete cycle, what you say, that is lambda. Okay, and 1 by t. This 1 by t, I can replace it with frequency f, and lambda I have kept it as it is. Okay. What I will do, I will simply multiply and divide it by 2 pi, so that frequency, if you associate with 2 pi, 2 pi f will become omega. So that's why multiply and divide by 2 pi. You will get omega lambda divided by 2 pi. And just now you have seen here, what is beta is equal to? Beta is equal to 2 pi by lambda. So inverse, lambda by 2 pi will be 1 by beta. Okay. So that I have substituted, it is omega by beta. So you can start with velocity equation lambda by t, that is distance by time, and you can arrive at omega by beta. Okay, directly it is taken here. Now omega by, why again, why we want beta only? You can even, if possible, to reduce it in the form of alpha, we could have done it. But alpha propagation, this attenuation constant, nowhere we are concerned with, because we are working with the phase, that is omega term, beta term. So beta, because of that, in the velocity expression, we have tried to achieve this beta term. So that again I can substitute for beta, that is omega into root LC. So omega gets cancelled, 1 by root LC. This is the equation for velocity of propagation Vp. So lambda and Vp you have seen. As a note, you can see this is very important. We know that this is the velocity of propagation, that is 1 by root LC. For air core conductors, okay, when the medium, dielectric medium is air, okay, the phase velocity Vp, it is approximately equal to the velocity of light. As a short note, as just for 4 marks, the question may be prove that the velocity of propagation Vp, it is approximately equal to the velocity of light, that is a small c. Just for 2 marks, as a sub question, you may get this. Okay? And 1 by root LC, you know this. Okay, velocity is given by 1 by square root of mu naught epsilon naught. Hope you remember this. It comes in electromagnetic waves, the 5th module, where electromagnetic waves, when they travel, their velocity is given by 1 by root of mu naught epsilon naught. This is for air core, that's why we are taking mu naught epsilon naught. Otherwise, we would have taken simply mu and epsilon. Okay, so substitute the values. 1 divided by mu naught is 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7. Epsilon naught is 8.854 into 10 to the power of minus 12. So if you can use your calculator, calculate this value, you will get some 2.999, I guess you will get something, 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meters per second. This is for air core conductors. The velocity is approximately equal to small c, velocity of light. Okay, suppose, okay, this is important. If you can go through some previous question papers, the question, frequently asked question is first one, derive the equation from the fundamentals, derive the equation for transmission line and its solution. That is the first concept which we covered. And the second question, frequent question, is derive the expression for propagation constant, attenuation constant, phase constant, that is gamma, alpha, beta, wavelength lambda, and directly velocity is not asked. They ask relative phase velocity factor. Okay, if the question is sub question, one of the parameter to be calculated is relative phase velocity factor. For that, suppose microwave transmission line contains a dielectric with a dielectric constant epsilon r and relative permeability mu r. If these two are the cases, what happened here? We have calculated this velocity for air core conductor. Air means we have taken this relative permeability as and permittivity as 1. Okay, actually it is mu into epsilon itself in the formula, but we know that mu is mu naught into mu r. Similarly, epsilon is epsilon naught into epsilon r. However, the relative permeability, relative permittivity values for air is 1. That's why it becomes mu naught into epsilon naught. But otherwise, in general, how we can write this velocity equation? Vp 1 by root of mu into epsilon. That's it. So just separate out the terms, substitute the values, mu as mu naught into mu r, epsilon as epsilon naught into epsilon r. Substitute them. Substituting the values, you can separate out the terms. It is like this: 1 by root of, substituting the value, mu is mu naught into mu r, and similarly epsilon is epsilon naught into epsilon r. So separate out first term, I have written it here, and you are left with this much. But what is this 1 by root of mu naught into epsilon naught? just now you have seen it is equal to 3 into 10 to the power of 8. That is a velocity of light, c. So I can replace this complete with c and this as it is. Okay. So what we got for velocity equation, when we have a transmission line which contains dielectric constant epsilon r and relative permittivity and relative permeability mu r. If that is the case, the velocity is given by Vp is equal to c by root of mu r into epsilon r. This is the velocity. But otherwise for air core conductors, it is equal to c. So there is a slight change, right? It is not even c. It has some other part also in the formula. Now, how you define relative phase velocity factor? Relative term will come into picture here. Okay. So we take the ratio of two different velocities. Okay. What all for air? What is the value we know? For general medium, what is the value we know? If we take the ratio, we will get the relative phase velocity factor. So relative VR, a relative phase velocity factor is given by actual phase velocity, that is general equation what we got, divided by velocity of light in free space. That's the first term. For air core conductors, what we calculated, it is that. Okay, that is directly c I have substituted. You can substitute 3 into 10 to the power of 8 also. Now VPE equation, just now we have calculated c by root of mu r epsilon r. Substitute that, divided by c. So c gets cancelled. Relative phase velocity factor is equal to 1 by root of mu r epsilon r. So this is the equation. So three equations we have seen. One is for lambda, okay, wavelength. The other one is for velocity, Vp. Uh, Along with this velocity, we have seen for air core conductors it is equal to c, and for general medium it is equal to some c divided by something, not even c, c into something. Okay, 1 by mu naught mu r into epsilon r, square root of, and the relative phase velocity factor Vr 1 by root of mu r epsilon r. Okay, these are the equations. Now as a note, please make a note of it. This is important. And okay, for problems, these two equations are very important for us. One is for gamma, which we have already calculated, and we know that gamma is equal to square root of zy. From this itself, we started the equation derivation. Okay, then only we went for z and y substitution, binomial expression, and finally we got the expression for gamma. Okay. So what is gamma is equal to root of zy. What is z? It is the series impedance, y is the shunt admittance. So z is r plus j omega l, y is g plus j omega c. So this is most frequently used expression in the problems. And one more thing is characteristic impedance. We have started the derivation of characteristic impedance by making use of this expression, root of z by y. So what is z? R plus j omega l, y is g plus j omega c. So these two equations are important in our problems. These two pair of equations, please remember, when we rearrange this equation, okay, or if you take the multiplication of these two values, if you multiply gamma with z naught, I think these two terms gets cancelled. You will be left with the root of r plus j omega l into root of r plus j omega l. Root will become 1. Half plus half will become 1. So you will get r plus j omega l. And second time, take the ratio gamma by z naught. If you take the ratio of these two values gets cancelled, r plus j omega l. You will be left with g plus j omega c. So these four equations which I have written here as a note, they are important from problems point of view. Okay, let us start with the first problem. A microwave generator, whatever problems I'm solving here, the similar kind you can get it in your question papers as well. Okay, the types, the varieties, the values may be different, but the varieties, the types, what are the unknowns, the all the things are covered here in these problems. You can check out. You can, if you have old question papers, please go through the question papers. And if you have some other problems also to solve, please WhatsApp me. A microwave generator at the frequency of 1.2 gigahertz supplies the power to a microwave transmission line with R, G, L and C. The parameters are given to you. Some values are there, 0.8, 0.8, 0.01 micro Henry, and G is in mho. Okay, capacitance is in pico. And observe, every parameter which is given is per meter, right? Per unit length. Remember, whenever we went for the transmission line equation and solution, we have taken the derivation for per unit length only. We need to calculate propagation constant gamma, attenuation constant alpha, phase constant beta, and characteristic impedance Z0. Okay. If you are able to get gamma, you can quickly find alpha and beta, because gamma is the combination of alpha and beta. Alpha plus j beta will give you gamma. So if you can get gamma equation after comparing the LHS and RHS, real part, imaginary part, so you can get alpha and beta, not an issue. So the important thing is getting gamma and characteristic impedance. So let us start the solution. Gamma, we know that it is equal to root of zy, right? So z and y are, we have seen here, first equation. Gamma is equal to root of r plus j omega l, g plus j omega c. So what I have done, instead of writing all together once, separately, as z is also having real and imaginary parts, y is also having real and imaginary parts, I have separately calculated them first, and then I will take the square root of them both. It will make the things easy. Otherwise, you can take all at once and calculate, not a problem. Fine. So gamma is equal to this. So z, r plus j omega l. R is given 0.8 plus j, what is omega? 2 pi f. F is given to you 1.2 giga. Giga is 10 to the power of 9. And L, what is L given? 0.01 microhenry. Micro. So 0.01 into 10 to the power of minus 6. So 0.8 real term I have written as it is, and this is J. Multiply all these together, I have got 75.4. Literally speaking, I have calculated this on my own and I have got these values. Okay, from the calculator I have calculated them. So you make a note of it, 75.4. Okay. Now, whatever answer I have got, it is in the rectangular form. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Got, fine. So Samina has got the answer. It is 75.4. It is better if you know, in parallel with these slides, if you can just calculate and verify. It will be good for you. Initially, just by looking at the problem, you may feel it is very easy. Okay, but otherwise when you start solving, you will feel it difficult because you get confused with the conversions, because now as this whatever answer we have got, it is in the rectangular form, it has got a real and imaginary part. If I want to convert it to polar form, magnitude and phase, why this conversion is necessary is because propagation constant is having the multiplication part. Okay, again taking this rectangular form 2 times, multiplying root of, it's a very tedious thing. Instead, no doubt you can take the answer as it is, whatever you have got, 0.8 plus j 75.4. whatever answer you have got, you can keep it same and continue the calculations, but it will make your work difficult, the tedious process. Instead of that, what you can do, you can convert this rectangular to polar form. This will make your work easy, as there is a multiplication, easily angles get added, so it will become easy for you. So I have converted this. You can verify. Okay, I have got the magnitude as 75.4. From your calculator, I think you can directly calculate the polar, convert rectangular to polar form. 75.4 is the real term, sorry, the amplitude. Angle I have got 89.39 degrees. Okay, degrees. Make sure you are putting this in your calculator in terms of degrees. Fine, I have got Z this much in polar form. Now, what is Y? Y is G plus j omega c. G is given as 0.8 milli. Don't forget this. In hurry, whenever you read the question, many times this happens. Students, they forget whatever are written in numbers. In terms of alphabets, because when you take the numericals, you mostly concentrate only on the number. You don't consider this. See here, there is a micro, there is a pico, there is a milli. You forget this. So don't do that. For the second term, it is 0.8 milli plus j. Omega is 2 pi. F frequency is 1.2 gigahertz, 10 to the power of 9. And C capacitance, how much? 0.4 picofarad. Pico means 10 to the power of minus 12. Okay, so 0.8 10 to the power of minus 3. I think it is common here also. If you take minus 12 plus 9, you will get 10 to the power of minus 3, 10 to the power of minus 3. I have written that outside. 0.8 is the real part, and j term 2 pi into 1.2 into 1.4. You calculate, I have got 3.01. You see whether you will get this much or not. And once you get this answer, it is in the rectangular form. Again, convert it into polar form, because we need polar form. It will make your work easier. Just like how we converted rectangular to polar for Z, similarly go for the conversion of rectangular to polar for Y also. Okay, so you have got the second one also, 3.01. You just verify once. When you convert only for Z, I'm talking, consider only this much. Let me just highlight it. Take this rectangular form, use your calculators, try to convert it into polar. Whether you will get this much or not, check once. If you have any difficulty, you can ask me. Okay, most of you have got, I guess. And even there is a method manually how to convert it. If you are not using calculator, after conversion, okay, you have got the answer after conversions also. Okay, fine. Many of you have got, but even manually also you can convert rectangular to polar. I think you know this, x plus jy or a plus jb. If this is the case, if you take for angle, I think it is tan inverse of y by x, right? If you do this much, you will get the angle. For magnitude, I forgot what is the formula. Cos x plus j sin x. Is it like that? I'll let you know, okay, about the magnitude, how you'll get the magnitude. But for phase, it is tan inverse of y by x. Okay. Okay, manually also you can do this. Similarly for g plus j omega c. So z and y separately we calculated. Square root of, yes, good, Tayyaba, I had forgot. It is root of, yes, magnitude, x square plus y square. Thank you so much for reminding me. So this is how you get the magnitude part. And for phase, tan inverse of y by x. So manually also you can convert it if you are not having the calculators with you. Now once we have got z and y in polar form, we have got both the answers in polar form. The next step is we need to go for multiplication, because the formula for gamma we want. Gamma is a root of both the terms product. To do that, you can put the square root as it is. These two are the magnitudes which you have got. These two magnitudes you can multiply. What about the angles? As they are having both in the numerators, angles product हैं, so जब भी angles product रहेंगे, those gets added. And angles अगर division में रहेंगे, ratio form में, then angles subtract होंगे. Remember. So when angles are getting multiplied here, see angle of 89 face angle of 75. So angles have to be added. As it is a square root, okay, I have to take angles division, because when you apply log, it will come to like this 1 by 2. Okay, logarithms you have studied. So applying that concept, square root, whatever is there in your question, while solving, you have got the square root here. So when you apply, here you have applied it, square root of magnitude. But what about angles? Angles are also in the square root. So angles should be divided. This 2 comes because you are having square root. Okay. So I think you will get this much answer, 0.484, 82.25 degrees. And answer what we have got is in polar form. So it is your wish. If you want, no, it is compulsion, because we have to further calculate alpha and beta, right? So gamma should be expressed in rectangular form. So whatever answer you have got, convert it back to rectangular form. How will you do that? I have written here, you can see how to get that. To get the first term, this is your rectangular form, and magnitude, some general value I am giving you, a and theta. Okay, now you're having this form, a angle theta. How to get x? First term, x is equal to whatever magnitude you have got, that magnitude into cos of theta. If you do this, you will get first term, x, and for y, magnitude sine of theta. So manually you can do like this, or if you are able to convert from your calculator directly, you can do that. You will get this as your gamma. So once you get the gamma, compare the real and imaginary parts, you will get alpha and beta. Remember, alpha is attenuation constant expressed in Napier's per meter. Napier's.